I welcome you all to Major H.S. Kalsi's Balnoi Academy. I am Ms. Shalini Chaudhary, Faculty of GS, and today we will be covering current affairs. In this, we will cover international organizations, the hot topic of international news, that is Israel-Palestine conflict. Also, we will look at International Environmental Convention. Let's start. Okay, we will start with the international organizations. The very first we will look at will be Quad. As we all know, Quad कहाँ से आया है? Quad है Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. बेसिकली अगर आप ये कंट्रीज देखेंगे, क्वाड के अंदर कौन कौन सी मेंबर कंट्रीज है? 4 कंट्रीज है. फर्स्ट इज इंडिया. हियर यू कैन लुक एट इंडिया इज हियर. देन वी हैव जापान, यूएस एंड ऑस्ट्रेलिया. जब ये चारों कंट्रीज मिलती हैं, जब इनके डॉट्स ज्वाइन करते हैं, तो दे मेक अ क्वाड्रिलेटरल. ओके, दैट इज व्हाई द नेम हैज बीन गिवन क्वाड. इट इज अ क्वाड्रिलेटरल सिक्योरिटी डायलॉग. यू कैन लुक एट कि चाइना को काउंटर करने के लिए ये जो बनाया गया है पूरा ग्रुपिंग, दैट हैज बीन मेड बेसिकली टू काउंटर चाइना. ओके, सो दीज कंट्रीज हैव इंटरेस्ट इन द रीजन. You can look at the location. This is the Pacific Ocean. Then here we have Indian Ocean region, right? So we have conflict with China. As we know that China is having its South China Sea and it is trying to dominate the region. That is why these 4 countries have come together and they have formed an informal grouping named as Quad. Now we will move forward and also look at what are the other things in Quad grouping. This grouping was started in the year 2007. Okay, so it is India, Japan, USA and Australia. To counter China, this grouping has been made. The year in which it was started, it was 2007. These years are also important for you to remember, because in examinations, sometimes the year in which these groupings started, they also ask. Okay, now the main objective is free, open and prosperous trade in Indo-Pacific region. As we just discussed, चाइना की इन्फ्लुएंस की वजह से जो पूरा इंडो पैसिफिक का रीजन है एंड इंडियन ओशन का रीजन है, दैट इज बीइंग हैम्पर्ड बाय चाइनाज अनड्यू इन्फ्लुएंस. इसकी वजह से दीज इनफॉर्मल ग्रुपिंग एंड दीज कंट्रीज वांट दिस एरिया टू बी फ्री, ओपन एंड प्रॉस्परस फॉर ट्रेडिंग. ओके, now as we know, as we just discussed, that China militarily and diplomatically is there in the region. So to counter it, the Quad grouping has been made, Quad partnership. As I told you that it is a loose grouping, means it is not a formal alliance. It is an informal organization that has been created by these countries. Okay, now we will also look at like what is happening right now and what all summits, meetings, information exchanges are done in this organization. So if you look at, the Quad provides India with a strategic platform to counterbalance China's growing assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific region, right? As we know that US and Japan, these both are antis of China. इसीलिए ये जो countries हैं साथ में आई हैं and Quad grouping पे काम करती हैं. इनकी annually meetings conduct होती हैं, discussions होते हैं, guidelines create होती हैं and then they work on the Indian Ocean region and Pacific region. Also, they exchange technology, ideas, economic partnership with each other. Now, very important for us to know that this was required to counter the China's string of pearls strategy. As we all know that China is trying to have its bases, its ports around India. अभी आपने न्यूज में देखा होगा कि पाकिस्तान में चाइना ने अभी अभी ग्वाडर पोर्ट लीज पर लिया फॉर 99 years. So what it is trying to do, it is trying to circumlocate India from all the sides. Then in Sri Lanka, it has also tried to build its port. Here in Pakistan, it has taken the Gwadar port. Right, here in Myanmar, it has tried to build its Sitwe port. Then in Sri Lanka, it has Hambantota port. So in this way, China is trying to have different ports and bases around India. अगर हम इन पॉइंट्स को ज्वाइन करेंगे तो इट इज मेकिंग अ स्ट्रिंग ऑफ पर्ल्स, अ गार्लैंड व्हिच इज locating India from all the sides, and that is a threat, security threat for India. But to counter the strategy of China, India has made its diamond of necklace strategy. Okay, तो diamond of necklace strategy में what India is doing, as China ने अपने different ports and bases बनाए हैं इंडिया की neighboring countries में, इंडिया ने क्या किया, अपनी और नेबरिंग कंट्रीज में लाइक ईरान में इट हैज बिल्ड इट्स चाबहार पोर्ट इन ईरान. देन इन सेशल्स इट हैज इट्स in Seychelles Assumption Island it has also taken. Then it has also taken in Singapore Changi Naval Base Airport. So these bases, naval bases and ports, India is trying to have the counter for China's this string of pearls strategy, and India has built its diamond of necklace strategy. Okay, so with this, if we look at the headquarters, so Quad has no permanent headquarter, as we just discussed that it is an informal grouping. इसका कोई भी permanent headquarter नहीं है. Along with this, if we talk about कि different exercises conduct होती हैं, तो Quad की countries जो exercise करती हैं, that is Malabar series में there is all the Quad countries that participate. Okay, all the Quad countries participate in Malabar exercise, and with this we learned about what is Quad doing. Along with this, we will also know that 2024 summit of Quad, 2024 summit Quad की हुई है in USA. So these few things become important for your examination point of view. That is, first, the summit name, its headquarters, the year in which it was started, and current meeting also to remember for your examinations. Okay, now we will move forward and we will look at the another international organization, that is SCO. You can see SCO is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, so in blue you can see the dialogue partners, and in red you can see the guest attendees. So basically Shanghai Cooperation Organization किन countries ने बनाई थी? It was in the year 2001 when China and Russia came together and proposed SCO, and they made it. But then what happened? 5 countries came together. The names are China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia and Tajikistan. In 1996, that first they proposed the Shanghai 5. Okay, and then what happened? In 2001, it was established fully by China and Russia. But if we talk about what all countries are there today in SCO, so now it has been extended to other countries also. Initially we had Shanghai 5, then what happened? Other countries also joined. Uzbekistan joined. Then in 2017 it expanded with India and Pakistan also. So India and Pakistan became member of SCO in the year 2017. Recently 2 countries have joined SCO, that is Iran, which was in the year 2023, and Belarus, that was in the year 2024. Now what you have to remember, that total countries in SCO are 10 countries. Okay, so member countries are 10. This also you have to remember कि SCO में total number of countries कितनी है, उनकी नाम भी याद रखिए. देखिए, इसको याद रखने के लिए आप छोटा सा ट्रिक देख सकते हैं कि 5 countries are TAN countries: Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan. These 2 countries first started it, and then India, Pakistan joined in 2017, and recently Iran and Belarus also joined. So in this manner 10 countries of SCO are like this. Then we have 2 observer status also. So कुछ country को observer status दिया जाता है. Basically observer status and dialogue countries क्या करती हैं? They are not the permanent members of the organization, but they can come and attend the organization's meetings, activities, what all things are happening. Okay, so in the observer status this SCO has Afghanistan and Mongolia, but Afghanistan is inactive since 2021 September. Okay, then it has 9 dialogue partners also. If we talk about the guest attendees, so it has 4 guest attendees, which includes 3 are associations and 1 is a country: Turkmenistan, UN, Commonwealth of Independent States, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Basically, it is ASEAN. We will talk about this also later. Okay, now we will first look at the structure of SCO. Okay, the structure involves heads of state council. It is the supreme decision making body of SCO. So head is the head of state council. Then it meets once in a year. So basically all the decisions, all the meetings कब होती हैं? एक साल में एक बार. Now this is very important to know that SCO is the parent organization and it has its certain baby organs. The organs are 2 permanent bodies are there. First is Secretariat of SCO. Okay, Secretariat of SCO is its one of the organs, permanent organ. The headquarter is in Beijing, which is in China. The second is RATS. RATS is Regional Terrorist Structure. Okay, this is basically Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है ताशकेंत में. ताशकेंत इज इन उज्बेकिस्तान. तो ये चीजें आपको याद रखनी है कि 2 परमानेंट ऑर्गन है. द नेम्स आर RATS and this Secretariat of the SCO, and इसकी parent organization is SCO, and the 2 baby organs, permanent organs are Secretariat and RATS. Okay, now we will also look at the working official language. Very important, since China and Russia ने start किया था, तो इन्हीं की languages जो है वो SCO की official working languages है. अभी लास्ट पेपर में भी आपके पूछा गया है, SCO के ऊपर पूरा क्वेश्चन बनकर आया था इन योर डिफेंस एग्जाम्स ओनली. ओके, तो इन्हीं में से स्टेटमेंट्स उठ के आ जाएंगी एंड देन दे विल आस्क यू व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग्स आर करेक्ट एंड व्हिच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग आर नॉट. सो यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द ऑफिशियल वर्किंग लैंग्वेजेस आर चाइनीज एंड रशियन. नेक्स्ट वी हैव ASEAN. ASEAN, we will talk about ASEAN. So basically ASEAN is Association of Southeast Asian Nation. Okay, Association of साउथ ईस्ट एशियन नेशन. अगर हम इसकी कंट्रीज की बात करें, अब आप देखो सारी कंट्रीज देखो आसियान की, इसके अंदर टोटल है 11 कंट्रीज. ओके, इनिशियली इट हैड 10 कंट्रीज ओनली, बट रिसेंटली 1 कंट्री हैज जॉइंड. द कंट्री दैट हैज जॉइंड रिसेंटली इज तिमोर लेस्टे. सो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दे कैन आस्क दैट इन आसियान ग्रुपिंग which of the following country has joined very recently. Okay, so the latest country that has joined is Timor Leste. Earlier we had 10 countries and plus 1, that is Timor. Okay, so you can look at the location first. देखो सारी कंट्रीज हैं, म्यांमार, लाओस, थाईलैंड, वियतनाम, कंबोडिया, ब्रूने, फिलीपींस, मलेशिया, इंडोनेशिया, एंड देन 11th इज तिमोर लेस्टे. अब देखो यहाँ से इंडिया को इससे क्या होता है, सारे आसियान कंट्रीज में एक्सेस मिलता है थ्रू दिस लोकेशन. इंडिया से जुड़ा हुआ है बिल्कुल. देन देयर इज बांग्लादेश एंड देयर इज म्यांमार. सो इन दिस वे all the ASEAN groupings are accessible to India also. Then if we look at the countries as we just discussed, these are the 11 countries. Earlier Myanmar was known as Burma. Okay, then अगर हम इसके ऑब्जेक्टिव की बात करें तो द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ आसियान इज इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ, सोशल प्रोग्रेस एंड कल्चरल डेवलपमेंट. अब एक चीज ध्यान रखो कि ये जो सारी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस होती है ना, इनका जो मेन मोटिव है, जो मेन इनका ऑब्जेक्टिव है, एम है, दैट इज पीस, सिक्योरिटी, ग्रोथ एंड टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट. तो इसी वजह से ये सारी ग्रुपिंग्स बनाई जाती हैं सो दैट एक रीजन के अंदर, सपोज अब पूरे आसियान का रीजन है, अब ये सारी कंट्रीज मिलके साउथ ईस्ट एशियन नेशन है सारी, इसीलिए इन्होंने नाम भी क्या रखा, आसियान. सारी कंट्रीज साथ में आए, दे कैन वर्क ऑन हाउ टू ब्रिंग मोर पीस एंड सिक्योरिटी इन द रीजन, राइट, हाउ टू ब्रिंग मोर ग्रोथ टू द कंट्रीज, हाउ टू एक्सचेंज आइडियाज, टेक्नोलॉजी, right? So in this way these country make such associations. So if we look at that how it was made. Earlier it was formed in 1961, okay, consisting of Thailand, Philippines and Malaya. Malaya is for Malaysia only. Then what happened in 1967? These 5 countries, the names are Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand, signed the ASEAN Declaration. Very important. The question may come that in 1967 which all 5 countries joined, right? तो आपको 5 countries के नाम याद होने चाहिए along with the year and the declaration name. So declaration name is ASEAN Declaration. These 5 countries, namely Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore and Thailand, came together and they signed the ASEAN Declaration. Then what happened next? Other 5 countries also came in 1991. So in 1991, these 5 countries came and joined ASEAN. The names are Laos, Brunei, Myanmar, Cambodia and Vietnam. And most recently in 2022, Timor-Leste has joined as the 11th ASEAN nation. Okay, so 11th nation is the Timor-Leste. As we talk about the Secretariat of ASEAN, it is located in Jakarta, Indonesia. Important to remember. The motto of ASEAN is one vision, one identity, one community. The motto is also important. Then if we talk about the institutional mechanism of ASEAN, तो ASEAN की summit annually आती है and then they discuss different regional issues and policy directions. Okay, so basically ये जो सारी groupings है, annually they come together and they meet each other to talk about different various things happening around them which are relevant for their region. Okay, then they have ASEAN Coordinating Council, then they have ASEAN Secretariat that we just talked, it is in Jakarta, Indonesia. Then ASEAN Regional Forum, okay, platform where the dialogues, the cooperation, the activities are discussed, right? And then the decision making, it is done through consultation and consensus. So basically all countries come together, they have meetings on various topics and they vote, they have the consensus for the finalization of the meeting. So in this manner they come to the conclusion. If we talk about 2024 host, so 2024 की जो host country रही है for ASEAN, that is Laos. Okay, so remember these things, that who is the current host, it is Laos. Next we will move forward and we will look at our next international organization, that is BRICS. Very important because recently what happened, BRICS acronym is BRIC for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So everyone will think that only 5 countries are part of it, but recently what happened, other 5 countries have also joined. Okay, so the acronym started for these 5 countries. Then what happened, it was started in 2001 by Goldman Sachs. Okay, then South Africa joined in 2010. So initially in 2001 only 4 countries were there and the acronym was BRIC, only BRIC in 2001. But later what happened, in 2010 one more country was added, that was South Africa. Okay, so till then till last year also we had just these 5 countries, acronym is BRICS. But recently we will talk about the recent additions, all those countries who have joined. See, the BRICS countries who have joined in 2024 are South Africa, Iran, Ethiopia and UAE and Egypt. So these 5 countries have joined recently in the year 2024. So now total number of members in BRICS are 10. So you must remember the 10 countries names also and the number of countries. So these groupings have now expanded to a group of approximately 3.5 billion world's inhabitants, means 45% of population, the countries who are having, they are the member countries of this grouping. The name is BRICS. Okay, combinedly they have 28% of global economy. So in this manner this grouping receives 44% of world's crude oil. 44% of world का जो crude oil आता है वो BRICS समिट से, ब्रिक्स समिट की जो कंट्रीज है उनसे ही रिसीव होता है, बिकॉज मेनली the countries are Iran, Saudi Arabia and UAE, and they all have joined in 2024 in the BRICS. Now formation was in 2009 at Russia. If we talk about the tower headquarter, it is in Shanghai, which is in China. Okay, now it also has an organ which is known as New Development Bank, okay, NDB. If you look at this NDB, it is a multilateral development institution which was created by BRICS in the year 2015. The headquarter is in Shanghai, China. You can see here. It is basically a BRICS bank. तो BRICS का अपना बैंक है. The name is New Development Bank and it came as a legal entity in the year 2015 UFA summit. Okay. Then what happened? Later it received the observer status also by the UN General Assembly. Okay. If we talk about the NDB president, so NDB president is selected on the rotational basis from one of the founding members, and then there are 4 vice presidents also. Now this is very important for us to know that first elected president of NDB जो कि Indian थे, that was KV Kamath. Important to remember कि NDB के आज तक जो भी first Indian रहे हैं as the elected president was KV Kamath. Okay. Now 2024 host was Russia. So always try to find out these informations, that what all are the organ countries, which country is the host of the recent summit. These things become important for your examination point of view. Then we have SAARC. SAARC is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Okay, it was established in the year 1985. SAARC कब बना? 1985 में. The countries which are part of SAARC are 8 countries है basically. हम एक एक कंट्री को देखते हैं. It is India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Maldives, then you have Bhutan and Nepal. Okay, so total countries are 8 countries are part of it. Okay. अब इसकी ना एक शॉर्ट फॉर्म है याद करने के लिए, दैट विल बी इजी फॉर यू. MBBS पेन. आप इससे इसको लर्न कर सकते हैं. 8 कंट्रीज हैं, 8 लेटर्स हो गए. दिस इज फॉर म्यांमार, बांग्लादेश, भूटान, श्रीलंका, पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान, इंडिया एंड नेपाल. सो इन दिस मैनर यू कैन मेक सच mnemonics to learn the names of the country, because what happens sometimes these countries are asked that which all countries are not part of the organization. So they may ask giving you 8 options and then पूछेंगे इनमें से कौन कौन सी countries part नहीं है SAARC की. तो आपको याद रहेगा MBBS पेन से, and then you can identify that which all countries are part of SAARC and which all are not. The headquarter of SAARC is in Kathmandu, Nepal. नेपाल में इसका हेडक्वार्टर है. Now the main objective is to promote the welfare of the Southeast Asian countries. So basically that's why these countries have come together for the economic growth, social progress and cultural development that we just discussed, that the base of all the international organization remains the same. They all need peace and security, growth, cultural, technological, environmental, social, and then to provide opportunity to live with dignity and full potential, so that all the countries who are part of it, they all are the neighboring countries, they can come together and they can live with full dignity and peace. Now we have BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is, the full form is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation. नाउ बिम्स्टेक में 7 कंट्रीज है. अभी हमने इससे पहले सार्क देखा था, उसका एक्रोनियम हमने क्या बनाया था, निमोनिक्स, दैट वाज MBBS पेन. नाउ सिमिलरली फॉर बिम्स्टेक देयर इज अ निमोनिक दैट इज MBBS टिन. इट इज MBBS टिन. हियर टोटल यू हैव 7 कंट्रीज. तो यू विल हैव टू रिमेंबर कि MBBS टिन से क्या बन रहा है. इट इज म्यांमार, बांग्लादेश, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Thailand, India and Nepal. So these are the 7 member countries of BIMSTEC. The short form is MBBS 10. Now you can look at the objectives. Objectives क्या है? Enable environmental security and economic and environmental development basically. Okay, that we just discussed. Collaborate and mutually assist members on different matters, to come forward to exchange ideas, technology, right? So these all are the basis of all these international organizations. You can look at the locations of different countries who are part of it. Then if we talk about that, when it was started in the year 1997. Initially it was not BIMSTEC, initially it was BISTEC. Okay, इसके अंदर M नहीं था, only 6 countries were there. Myanmar was not there, right? It was initially BISTEC in 1997. Then what happened? One country, these countries joined. The organization is now known as BIMSTEC, which consists 7 members, because Myanmar joined in the year 1997 and Bhutan and Nepal in the year 2004. Okay, so that's how they are made as a member of 7 countries. Then if we talk about the leadership, very important for you to remember that leadership is rotated in alphabetical order of every country. तो हर साल क्या होता है? Alphabetic order में the leadership keeps on changing. This year 2024 host is Thailand. 2024 का जो host है that is Thailand. Okay, so with this international organizations are complete. We have covered 5 international organizations: Quad, SAARC, BIMSTEC, ASEAN, right? So keep revising them, know about the recent summits, the year in which they were made, their organs, their headquarters and their main motives and the countries. Okay, and also try to learn them with the mnemonics. Now we will move forward and we will talk about the hot topic that is in the news. हम लोग सब सुन रहे हैं इंटरनेशनल न्यूज में, न्यूज़पेपर्स आर फिल्ड विद द न्यूज, इजराइल पैलेस्टीन कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, बट यू नो द मेन थिंग व्हाट इज विद दिस इशू दैट वी आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ इट, क्योंकि जो इशू है दैट स्टार्टेड नॉट इन 2023 और 2024, इट इज अ लॉन्ग बैक इशू, बहुत टाइम से इशू चल रहे हैं, रिलीजियस इशू हैं बहुत सारे, दे आर डिफरेंट कम्युनिटीज, different communities of Muslims also, then Islam communities are there, so they have their long years back of issues that we will try to discuss today. Okay, so today we have this Israel-Palestine issue that we will cover in detail. First thing to know is that there are different locations that are the hot main areas of the conflict. We all have heard West Bank, Gaza Strip एंड गोलान हाइट्स. तो हम इनको देखते हैं कि ये बेसिकली है क्या. तो वेस्ट बैंक एक जगह का नाम है जो कि कहाँ है? इजराइल और जॉर्डन के बीच में, राइट? ये तीनों जगह का जो टेक ओवर है दैट वाज टेकन बाय इजराइल इन द ईयर 1967, बिकॉज 1967 में एक वॉर हुई थी जिसमें इजराइल हैज टेकन अ लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ टेरिटरी, द लार्ज पोर्शन ऑफ टेरिटरी of the region, and in this it took West Bank, Gaza and Golan Heights. Gaza is situated in between Israel and Egypt, and that was also taken over in 1967. Then Golan Heights, it is also a strategic plateau, it is a plateau which is in Syria. Okay, that was also taken over by Israel in the year 1967 after the war. Now what has happened? We will look at that recently USA has officially recognized Jerusalem and Golan Heights as a part of Israel. Now we know कि जो भी पूरी conflict है वो इन तीनों locations के around है. Then we have Al-Aqsa Mosque also, which is the third holiest site of Islam people. So basically first is Makkah Medina, and first and second is Makkah Medina, and the third holiest is Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is present in Old Jerusalem, right? So these are the main areas of conflict in Israel. So first we will look at the map that what all are areas and कहाँ पर ये located है और क्यों इनके बीच में conflict चल रही है. Now अभी हमने देखा वेस्ट बैंक, ये देखो वेस्ट बैंक यहाँ पे लोकेटेड है, दिस इज द वेस्ट बैंक, एंड यहाँ पे है जेरूसलम. देन वी हैव गाजा पट्टी, गाजा स्ट्रिप भी बोलते हैं, गाजा पट्टी भी बोलते हैं, जो कि इजराइल और इजिप्ट के बीच में है, राइट? हियर इज द मेडिटेरेनियन सी। कौन सी सी है जो कि इजराइल और इजिप्ट से लगती है? दैट इज मेडिटेरेनियन सी। यहाँ पर हमारे पास है रेड सी। सो दीज ऑल सीज ऑल्सो प्रोवाइड स्ट्रैटेजिक geopolitical locations that are required and due to which all these issues are becoming in the news, coming in the news. Then here is the Golan Height. आप देख सकते हो Golan Height कहाँ पर है? It is between Syria and Israel. तो this is sandwiched between Syria and Israel. Gaza Strip is sandwiched between Israel and Egypt, and this West Bank between Israel and Jordan. तो ये जो locations हैं ये क्या करती हैं? ये एंट्री पॉइंट्स देती हैं दूसरी स्टेट्स में जाने के लिए. दैट इज व्हाई दीज एरियाज आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर ऑल द कंट्रीज, फॉर ऑल द ग्रुपिंग्स दैट आर फाइटिंग फॉर इट. तो मेनली यही एरियाज हैं जिनकी वजह से लड़ाइयां हैं, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है इजराइल हमास की. ओके, नाउ वी विल मूव फॉरवर्ड एंड वी विल लुक एट डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस इन्वॉल्व्ड एंड ऑल्सो हाउ इट स्टार्टेड. So basically अगर हम थोड़ा सा बैक जाए हिस्ट्री में, in the year 1917 what happened? It was the British secretary Arthur James Balfour जिन्होंने ब्रिटेन का सपोर्ट दिखाया था for Jewish people. There is a conflict of Jewish and Arabs also. What is happening? अगर हम बात करें तो जो भी हमारा पूरा एरिया है Jewish वाला, they follow Shia. Muslims also have their religious bifurcation, that is Shia and Sunni. तो Jewish जो people हैं they are originated from Israel, okay, and जो Hamas people हैं, जो Palestinian people हैं, we can say they are Arabs. तो दोनों में conflict है अपने religion को लेके कि हम लोग Jewish हैं, we follow Jewish, so we want this territory to be Jewish oriented and they must have the domination of Jewish people. नाउ क्या हुआ 1917 में? आर्थर जेम्स बेल्फोर ने बोला कि हम जूइश पीपल को एक नेशनल होम की तरह पैलेस्टीन में अंडर बेल्फोर डिक्लेरेशन वी विल अनाउंस इट एज अ जूइश नेशनल होम इन 1917. बट व्हाट हैपेंड इन द ईयर 1948? जो ब्रिटिश फोर्सेस थी दे कुड नॉट कंटेन द पैलेस्टीनियन अथॉरिटी इन द रीजन एंड दे विड्रू. तो वो लोग वहां से चले गए. नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड? उन्होंने सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दे दी यूएन को. दे सेड दैट we are withdrawing and we are giving the entire responsibility to United Nations to solve this issue. But what happened? UN said and it gave a partition plan. उन्होंने बोला कि हम Jewish और अरब स्टेट्स को इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट दे देंगे, लेकिन ये अरब्स को बिल्कुल भी उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. They refused, Arabs refused कि हमें Jewish and this Arab state we do not want in Palestine, we need entire Palestine. So that is how the Britons also backed out. Okay, then in the 1948 year Arab-Israel war hui. Arab-Israel war hui, and then what happened? 50% of more territory was envisioned by the UN partition plan. Israel ने UN partition plan के end तक in 1948 जो war हुई उसके अंदर 50% जो और टेरिटरी थी एरिया की, दैट ऑल्सो दे टुक ओवर. तो इससे क्या हुआ? ज्यादातर जो लोकेशन थी, ज्यादातर जो एरिया था, दैट वाज टेकन बाय इजराइल बाय द एंड ऑफ 1948. इन यूएन पार्टीशन प्लान, एज यूएन ने पार्टीशन प्लान दिया था कि हम जूइश और पैलेस्टीन के लिए, अरब्स एंड जूइश के लिए अलग अलग एक इंडिपेंडेंट स्टेट बना देंगे. बट व्हाट हैपेंड? जॉर्डन कंट्रोल्ड वेस्ट बैंक. अब प्लान के अकॉर्डिंग क्या हुआ? जॉर्डन कंट्रोल्ड वेस्ट बैंक एंड जेरूसलम होली साइट्स, दैट इज अल-अक्सा मॉस्क, and Egypt controlled Gaza Strip. But what happened? This all was not accepted by the Palestinians and they formed their PLO. PLO is Palestinian Liberation Organization in the year 1964. Now PLO has come into the picture. So it was basically with the aim of freeing Palestine from the clutches of Israel and Jewish communities. So they wanted their entire location to be Palestinian controlled. They did not want Jewish Israeli domination in the area. So this PLO also got observer status in the year 1975 by United Nations. Then what happened in 1967? As I told you that all the important locations were taken over in this war only. So 1967 में वॉर हुई जिसमें इजराइल ने सीज कर लिया गोलान हाइट्स को सीरिया से, वेस्ट बैंक एंड ईस्ट जेरूसलम को ले लिया जॉर्डन से, एंड सिनाई पेनिनसुला एंड गाजा स्ट्रिप को दे एक्वायर्ड इट फ्रॉम इजिप्ट. So in this manner, these locations were taken over by Israel in the year 1967 after the war. Now we will talk about Hamas because it is very much in news nowadays. You all must have seen Hamas is doing this. They are having their conflict in the area. They wanted certain region for them. So what is Hamas doing? Hamas, first we will talk about how Hamas was created. So in the year 1987, Hamas was founded by Egypt Muslim Brotherhood seeking fulfill their violent jihad. So basically they came in the picture in the year 1987 because what happened in the year after 1987, in 2006 they originated as a terrorist organization by the US government. So they came in the picture in 1987. But earlier they were doing their work. They wanted Palestine to be entirely controlled by them. But later on, with their actions, certain actions in these years, US government claimed it as a terrorist organization. In 2006, Hamas won the Palestinian Authority legislative elections. Basically, इसकी एक counter rivalry पूरी political party थी, that's name is Fatah. So they defeated it and they won the 2006 Palestinian elections. In this manner, what happened? Israel का जो पूरा Gaza Strip वाला area था, that came under the control of Hamas. ठीक है? This organization got the control of Israeli occupied Gaza Strip in the year 2007. Islamic Resistance Movement, that is for Hamas only, and Hamas की भी full form है. Look at the full form. It is हरकत अल मुकम्मा अल इस्माइलिया. सो ये एक सुन्नी नेशनलिस्ट पॉलिटिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बनाई with the military wing. Okay, so they wanted the entire control of the Gaza Strip. Then US pledged billions of dollars. See, we need to know that in such wars, what happens? The countries which are involved, they lose in every manner. They have economic loss, they have mental loss, they lose their innocent children, families. But कौन इसमें win-win situation है? The countries which have the weapons, they provide their weapons. So US kept on providing and pledging billions of dollars to Israel and Hamas, and they kept on supplying the different weapons. With this, what happened then? If we talk about the major alliances, as we talked about that US kept on providing its weapon supplies, then also Iran in the neighboring country of Israel, we have Iran also. So it also provide the economic and political support to the Hamas, and it also gets it from Turkey. So Turkey हो गया, Iran हो गया, US हो गया, Lebanon हो गया. These all are the allies of Hamas. Then Qatar also hosts Hamas political office. So it also provides knowledge, security, weapons to Hamas grouping. See what happens, these countries also have their interest because Iran also needs the Mediterranean Sea, the Red Sea. These locations, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, right, Sinai Peninsula, these are the entry points in different countries. अगर इन countries पे पूरा Israel का control हो जाएगा तो what will happen? Israel will not allow other countries to move through it. That is why the neighboring countries are also helping Hamas to have the control of these certain entry points. क्योंकि अगर ये entry points में help करेंगे Hamas को, so Hamas will allow them to have their trade and connections for different things. Now, if we talk about Oslo Accord, then Oslo Accord was signed in 1993. See, जब इतने conflicts हो रहे थे, तो they wanted some peace agreements also, तो जिसका नाम आया Oslo Accord. So in 1993, what happened? Oslo Accord was signed between Israel and PLO. Okay, so Palestinian Liberation Organization and Israel signed this Oslo Accord, and they said that we will renounce the violence. अब हम violence को give up कर देंगे and we will have peaceful relations among themselves. In 2005, what happened? Unilateral withdrawal of Jews started from Israel. तो क्या किया Israel ने? गाजा पट्टी से जो भी ज्यूस पीपल्स थे उनको हटाना शुरू कर दिया, एंड इट स्टार्टेड हैविंग इट्स एंटायर कंट्रोल ऑफ द एरिया, सो दैट अगर कुछ भी मिस हैपनिंग होती है, कुछ भी अटैक्स होते हैं तो इट्स पीपल आर सेफ. देन in 2012 UN upgrades Palestinian representation to the non-member observer state. तो UN ने अपग्रेड किया पैलेस्टीन का स्टेटस, मींस इसको भी एक रिकॉग्निशन दिया गया एज non-member observer state in the year 2012. नाउ अब हमने पूरा इनका कन्फ्लिक्ट तो समझ लिया. वी विल ऑल्सो लुक एट कि इंडिया का इस पे स्टैंड क्या है एंड हाउ इंडिया इज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटिंग टू द इजराइल पैलेस्टीन वॉर. तो इंडिया हैज गिवन इट स्टैंड लाइक, इंडिया पहली कंट्री थी इन द ईयर 1947 जिसमें इसने बोला कि यूएन पार्टीशन प्लान को हम लोग अपोज करेंगे, वी आर नॉट सपोर्टिंग यूएन पार्टीशन प्लान जिसके अंदर जूइश को अलग कर देंगे, राइट, इजराइल को अलग कर देंगे. लाइक इट सपोर्टेड दी हमास के राइट्स एंड व्हाट हमास वाज आस्किंग कि हमें यूएन पार्टीशन प्लान नहीं चाहिए, हमें इंडिपेंडेंट एरिया चाहिए. देन इंडिया ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया था इजराइल को इन द ईयर 1950. ऑल्सो इट वॉज द फर्स्ट नॉन अरब कंट्री जिसने रिकॉग्नाइज किया पैलेस्टीनियन लिबरेशन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को एज द सोल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ पैलेस्टीन. मीन्स इंडिया केम फॉरवर्ड एंड recognized PLO as the representative group of the Palestinians. Okay, it was also the first country in the year 1988 जिसके अंदर इसने स्टेटहुड के लिए पैलेस्टीन को एक्सेप्ट किया कि हम एक स्टेटहुड की तरह वी आर एक्सेप्टिंग पैलेस्टीन इन द ईयर 1988. फर्दर इंडिया ने सपोर्ट किया टू नेशन पॉलिसी और टू स्टेट सोल्यूशन जिसमें बोला गया कि इजराइल को और पैलेस्टीन की कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को खत्म करने का यही एक सोल्यूशन है दैट वी प्रोवाइड बोथ द कंट्रीज डिफरेंट independence and different locations on their own so that they can have independent area. Now if we look at the current war, what is happening? So recently what has happened, local militaries में वेस्ट बैंक हिजबुल्ला है लेबनान में, नॉर्दर्न इजराइल में, and Syria backed militias are having their conflict in the region, right? Hezbollah Lebanon से work करता है, Hamas as we just discussed that it became the sole ruler of Gaza in the year 2007, and also they have this Hamas has the raids over the third holiest site, that is Al-Aqsa Mosque in the East Jerusalem and the Jewish settlement activity in the West Bank. So इन सब की टेंशंस की वजह से कि हमास हमारे होलीएस्ट प्लेस पर अल-अक्सा मॉस्क पे अटैक ना कर दे, राइट, एंड देन Jewish settlements are there, इस वजह से दोनों कंट्रीज में हैविंग दी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट एंड दे आर हैविंग द नेम्स ऑफ Islamic resistance movement which want the Palestinian and the Gaza Strip to be their own, but on the other hand Israel wants it to be own. इसराइल की हमास की और भी डिमांड्स है, वो चाहते हैं कि जो भी पैलेस्टीन के जो भी प्रिजनर्स है, प्रिजनर्स ऑफ वॉर है इसराइल में, उनको भी फ्री कर दिया जाए, राइट. और उनकी डिमांड है कि हमारा जो भी एयर स्ट्राइक की वजह से अटैक हो रहा है, अभी रिसेंटली हमने देखा होगा कि इसराइल ने 2008 में 2024 में देयर हैव बीन सो मेनी अटैक्ड ऑन हमास व्हिच हैज किल्ड thousands of people, right? And Iran, as we just discussed, that Iran, Turkey, then Lebanon, they all are the countries which back Hamas. Now अगर हम कुछ लीडर्स की बात करें तो इस्माइल हानिये लीडर थे of Hamas, but in July 2024 what happened, he was killed in one of the air strikes. So he was the president of Hamas in the year 2007 he was made. Then we have other leaders also, Yahya Sinwar, Abu Amr Osan, Hassan and Khalil al-Hayya. So इनमें से काफी सारे leaders जो हैं they have been killed in the airstrike, because अभी recently you have seen the news कि 7 Hezbollah leaders have been killed in Lebanon, Beirut में, right? Then Hezbollah की बात करें तो Hezbollah एक Lebanese Shia Islamist पार्टी है. तो अभी क्या हो रहा है, इनके ना ग्रुपिंग्स अलग अलग जगह पे वर्क कर रही है. As we know that Hamas is working for Gaza Strip, we have Hezbollah which is working from Lebanon, ठीक है. तो इसके under Lebanon is also trying to have their support with the Hamas, because their demands are similar. Now we will look at the Iran's defense system. We are all aware of the Iran's Iron Dome system, right? So Iran का जो defense system है, that involves different systems, that is Arrow 2, Arrow 3, David Sling, that is also known as Stunner, then Iron Dome, Patriot Advanced Capability, PAC 2 and 3, then Advanced Fighter Jets, and it is also has Barak 8 missile, right? So we will look at the different systems we have in Israel's defense system. The first is Iron Dome. If you look at the range of Iron Dome is 70 kilometers. It is a short range missile, okay? Then David Sling. David Sling is a medium range missile defense system, and it has the range of 40 to 300 kilometers. Then Arrow, it is a long range missile defense system, and it has a range of 1500 kilometers. Then we have Barak 8 missile system, which has naval and land based air defense, which provides security up to the range of 70 kilometers. Then technology, it has advanced radar for tracking, right, for having the communication target acquisition. Now we will talk more about the Iron Dome system. So as we talk about, it has different components. It has detection and tracking radar, battle management and weapon control. It has missile firing unit. Now look at this picture. So this is the picture in which we have the Iron Dome explained in detail. Now look at this. This is the radar system unit that detects incoming projectiles. So whatever threat comes, the radar first gets to know about where it is coming from, identifies it. Then it is the control system, and then we have the missile firing unit. It starts and gives the missile to intercept it, okay? So here in this manner, the enemy country has the projectile in such a manner, it fires the missile, and then in this manner, the Iran's Iron Dome sends its intercepting missile. In this manner, you can see here also missile distance is explained. In Iron Dome, it is up to the range of 70 kilometers. Then David Sling, it provides defense up to 300 kilometers. Then Arrow system, it provides defense up to 2400 kilometers. Okay, and in this manner, the altitude, missile altitude is also showcased. Now we have come to a new topic, that is sustainable development. See, now what happened right now in today's world, we all are living in a time where sustainable development has become one of the major concerns of the entire world. आज के टाइम पे you can see there are different environmental issues, climate change is happening, glaciers are melting, right? Pollution is at its max. So in this manner, the sustainable development goals have been adopted. There are total 17 sustainable goals. We will discuss about them. The first is no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation. Then we have affordable and clean energy for energy, right? Then decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, infrastructure. 10th is reduced inequalities in the workforce so that equal employment opportunities can be provided to each and everyone. Then 11th is sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. Then we have the 13th sustainable development goal is climate action. 14th is life below water. Then others are life on land and peace, justice, strong institution, partnership for the goals. So these are the 17 sustainable development goals. You can learn them in such a manner. इनका serial number भी याद रखो कि पहला कौन सा है, दूसरा कौन सा है, because in your examinations they are also asked कि which of the following are included in the sustainable development goals. So total we have 17 sustainable goals. Now we will move forward and we will discuss the environmental conventions. Okay, so these conventions have been taken for the climate change, as we just discussed that today it is the need of the hour to have certain steps so that climate change can be reduced and we have sustainable future for the upcoming generations also. Now, so environmental conventions, these are basically the conventions that have been legally binding for the global environment, okay, so that the greenhouse gases effects can be mitigated, the temperature that we can see it is rising, it can be mitigated, and certain actions each and everyone can take at their own level, right? Then we have first is Ramsar Convention. It is very famous that we have seen Ramsar Convention was adopted in the year 1971, right? And it was adopted in the city Iran, okay? It is convention on the wetlands. If we talk about wetlands, होते क्या है? तो wetlands basically low lying land area है जहाँ पे water seasonally या फिर permanently accommodate हो जाता है, okay? तो जहाँ पे पानी collect हो जाता है seasonally या फिर permanently, उनको हम convention on wetlands बोलते हैं. Basically उनको हम wetland बोलते हैं और उनके लिए convention एक adopt की गई थी, that was Ramsar Convention in the year 1971. If we talk about that, it came force in 1975. Okay, देखो adoption date and coming into the force years are different. तो आपको इसमें दोनों याद रखने होंगे because such kind of questions are asked. They may ask you that in which year it was adopted, in which year it came in force. So these both the years become important for you. Next, what is important for us to remember that in the recent year in 2024, 5 new Ramsar sites were added to the list. So these 5 Ramsar sites are Ankasamudra Bird Conservation Reserve, that is in Karnataka. Then Aghaneshini Sanctuary, which is in Karnataka. Magadi Kere Conservation Reserve, which is in Karnataka again. Then Karaivati Bird Sanctuary, which is in Tamil Nadu, and Longwood Shola Reserve Forest, which is in Tamil Nadu. So basically 3 are from Karnataka and 2 are in Tamil Nadu. हमारी first जो wetland था, जो first Ramsar site थी इंडिया की, that was Chilka Lake. Okay, Chilka Lake, which is in Odisha. Now, second is Stockholm Convention. So Stockholm Convention was signed in 2001, adopted in 2001 in Geneva. Okay, Geneva is in Switzerland, but it came in force in the year 2004. Now, why it was made? The main thing it was made for was persistent organic pollutants. So POP के लिए Stockholm Conventions बनी है. See, देखो ये जो आपकी इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है ना, आपको क्या याद रखना है? आप सोचोगे इतनी सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है. First, you need to remember the aim, why it was made. So POP के लिए this Stockholm Convention was made. POP is persistent organic pollutants. Year कब adopt हुआ था? In the year 2001. And कब ये force, like when it came in force, it was in the year 2004. Then similarly, we have other environmental conservation conventions that had been taken. Then next is CITE. So CITE says, the full form is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Flora and Fauna. So this was the agreement in the year 1973. It was adopted and came in force in 1975. And ये भी कहाँ हुआ था? इसका headquarter is in Geneva, which is in Switzerland. Okay, so it was basically on the endangered species of wild animals and plants. Then we have Convention on Biological Diversity. So Convention on Biological Diversity, it was signed in the year 1992 and then it came in force in the next year, that is 1993. It is for the conservation of biological diversity. Then Bonn Convention, it was signed in the year 1979, came in force in 1983 and it is for the conservation of migratory species of wild animals. See, देखो आपको difference याद रखना है. Biological diversities का है for biological diversities. Then Bonn Convention is for migratory species. देखो ये तो understood है अपने नाम से ही, but Bonn Convention हो गया, अभी आएगा Montreal, Kyoto Protocol, आपको इनको याद रखना है, okay? Then Vienna Convention, that was for the protection of ozone layer. तो ozone layer की protection के लिए it is Vienna Convention. And now, as I told you, that Montreal Protocol is for the substances that deplete the ozone layer. So there are different substances that deplete ozone layer. So उनके लिए क्या बना है? Montreal Protocol. Like CFCs are there, greenhouse gases are there, right? So for that, it has been made Montreal Protocol. It was adopted in the year 1983 and came in force 1989. Now Kyoto Protocol, it was signed in Japan. Kyoto is a place in Japan only. तो ये बनी थी to reduce greenhouse gases. देखो difference याद रखना. Montreal Protocol for ozone depletion and this Kyoto Protocol is for greenhouse gases reduction. ठीक है, ये कब साइन हुआ था? कोप थर्ड के सेशन में, विच वॉज इन जापान. एंड कब था वो? ईयर 1997 एंड इट केम इन फोर्स इन द ईयर 2005. ओके, देन वी हैव यूनाइटेड नेशंस फ्रेमवर्क ऑन क्लाइमेट चेंज. तो ये एक जो क्लाइमेट चेंज के लिए बना है, दिस कन्वेंशन ऑल्सो फॉर द एमिशन ऑफ ग्रीन हाउस गैसेज दैट कॉजेज द ग्लोबल वार्मिंग. इसका हेडक्वार्टर है Bonn में, which is in Germany. It was adopted in the year 1992 and it came in force in the year 1944. Then we have Rio Summit. Rio is in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. यहाँ पे हुआ था ये in the year 1992 and किस लिए हुआ था? For the environment and conference on environment and development. Then UNCCD, the full form is United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. It was adopted in the year 1994. Up every year we have World Day to Combat Desertification also, that is celebrated on 17th June. जो 2024 का जो theme था, that was United for Land, United our Legacy, our Future. That was the theme. These themes are also important. जिस भी ईयर में जो भी समिट होगी, आपको उसका थीम भी याद रखना है. ओके, तो ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट कि इस ईयर वो वाली समिट कहाँ हुई, देन उसका थीम क्या था. ओके, दैट वाज इन बॉन, जर्मनी. देन वी हैव बेसल कन्वेंशन. इट इज टू कंट्रोल द ट्रांसबाउंड्री मूवमेंट्स ऑफ हैजार्डस वेस्ट एंड डिस्पोजल. इट वाज अडॉप्टेड इन 1989. तो हैजार्डस वेस्ट एंड डिस्पोजल कैसे किया जाए, इसके लिए this Basel Convention was signed. All right. Next, we have few other conventions like Cartagena Protocol, which was signed on biosafety to the Convention on Biological Diversity. It was signed in Montreal in the year 2000. Then UNREDD, it is United Nations Program on Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation. It was created in the year 2008. Then Nagoya Protocol, it is for the access to genetic resources and the fair equitable sharing of benefits arising from the utilization to the Convention of Biological Diversities. So in such manner, आप ना बस इनके keywords याद रखो कि कौन सा agreement, कौन सा convention किसके लिए हुआ है, because there are 15 to 20 that you will have to remember. Then COP, very important for you to remember. अभी recently COP 28 हुआ, right? COP 28 हुआ था कहाँ पर? It was in the year 2023 and it was held in UAE. Okay, दुबई में, UAE में हुआ था. अगर हम बात करें कि COP जो है, that keeps on happening in every year and the next COP 29 will be Azerbaijan. The host country for COP 29 is Azerbaijan, Baku. देन किगाली अग्रीमेंट इज देयर. अब देखो हमने मॉन्ट्रियल पढ़ा था, अब मॉन्ट्रियल में ही कुछ अमेंडमेंट्स करी एंड देन दे केम विद द किगाली अग्रीमेंट इन द ईयर 2016 व्हिच केम इन फोर्स 2019. नाउ मिनामाटा कन्वेंशन, इट इज फॉर द एडवर्स इफेक्ट्स ऑफ मर्करी. तो मर्करी के जो भी एडवर्स इफेक्ट्स होते हैं इन द एनवायरमेंट, टू रिड्यूस दैट मिनामाटा कन्वेंशन वाज साइंड इन द ईयर 2013. देन रॉटरडैम कन्वेंशन, it is on prior informed consent procedure for the hazardous chemicals and pesticides. So hazardous chemicals and pesticides के लिए internationally this convention was signed. It is Rotterdam Convention and the year was 1998. Now this is a table, शॉर्ट फॉर्म के लिए आप इसमें ईयर्स है और सारी की सारी कन्वेंशंस है that you can remember easily for your revision. So what we have studied today, we first learned about all the international organizations, not all, but we have covered 5 to 6 organizations, the relevance for your examination, how you have to read from them. Then we also discussed the Israel-Palestine issue, what all things are there in the international news nowadays, so that you will have more knowledge and more hold of what all things are happening around the globe. Next, we discussed about the International Environmental Conventions, and with this table, you can also remember all of the conventions and it will help you to revise it at your last moment of your examination. Keep revising it. See, for your examination, there is a lot of information that is available to you, but आप जब इनको revise करते रहेंगे, okay? Keep stipulated time of your day, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes for revision of current affairs. क्योंकि current affairs में इतनी सारी knowledge है, इतना सारा content है that you have to go through again and again. And जब आप go through करेंगे बार-बार, you will learn them and you will also be able to recall in your examination, right? Okay, keep revising, keep learning. Jai Hind.